want to welcome you to the second segment on the matter of culture making. I've got over my shoulder a book by William Vanderbloom on culture wins, and would be a companion to the book by James Heskett I referred to before. The title of that book is The Culture Cycle. I refer to it as the Culture Code. That's actually another book by a French writer. But this matter of culture and how do we answer the question, how do you shape and how do you architect a healthier, more effective culture? The first element is simply to understand what culture is. And that's some of those elements that we talked to before of really grasping that culture is quite complex. It is the deepest part of any organization. It is what determines who you are and the way in which you operate in the world, but even at a deeper level from operating in the world is who you are in your being. And culture, it turns out, is that element that, as one writer puts it, Phil Cook has said that culture triumphs over vision. There's also a saying concerning culture that culture eats strategy for breakfast. Those two sayings are indicating that we often, want to get our eyes on vision. Let's develop our vision and let's move forward. Or let's shape a very elegant and powerful strategy and let's get going. Here's the dilemma. Culture, your present way of being and doing, will often prevent you from fulfilling that vision or taking hold of that strategy, because culture is it is the strongest element within any organization and any group. Those deep assumptions, those beliefs and values that keep you where you are or propel you forward. So how do we change culture? There's a few things that I think are important to keep in mind. First of all, when you want to architect a more effective culture, first thing to do is do a very thorough audit of your present culture. What is it about who you are and how you operate and how you relate to one another and how you do what you do? What are the elements within that are healthy? What are the things that are unhealthy? Do this in concert with your team. So get a clear sense of current reality about your present culture. This is hard work because it's hard to be honest about this. And then after working in concert with your people, then talk together about what is the culture that we would desire and long to see here. Give you two illustrations of how this has been done. One is at an organization here in Calgary that is a business that deals with cleaning solutions, of all things. They have a very, very strong and healthy culture. What they did is they sat down with their entire team and they worked through a bit of a messy process about what are the things that we want to see present in our work together, our servicing of customers, our production as well as sales and servicing of people out there on the front line of who it is we sell to. And they formed a document that framed for them, here's who we long to be, and here's how we want to do what we do. And they came to full agreement at all levels in the organization about what they wanted to see. A second example comes to the world of education. Hal Urban is a teacher, a veteran teacher many years ago in the LA school district, who would do this every year with his students in a high school class, in the high school classes they taught. He would say to them, what is the kind of environment and setting that you want to be in, and what are the things that are off limits, and what are the things that we want to see present? And they would develop what they called the dirty 30 of the 30 things they did not want present in the environment of a classroom, and what are the thriving 30, the healthy 30, the 30 things they want to see. So they would put things such as, we want no swearing, we don't want any profanity, we don't want any put downs, we don't want any gossip. On the thriving side, they would say, we want encouraging words, we want to affirm one another, that shaped an environment of a classroom, which is a culture. So know where you are, know what you want to be, and then as leadership, it is important, it is vital that you hold yourself as well as your team to the aspiration of the culture you desire. And as a leader, here's the other piece. You need to be the most. So if you develop you say, we want to have a culture of affirmation of one another. You need to be the most in that work of affirmation. So this is a little bit of a very general overview of some things you need to consider. There's so much more in the culture literature, in books like Vanderbloemen's work in Culture Wins and The Culture Cycle. I encourage you to perhaps check out some of those things, but be committed to paying attention to your culture and being a great architect of that culture. Thanks for joining us here at Crest Leadership, and we'll see you along the way.